A man opens fire inside an Alabama church, shooting his girlfriend, an infant, and the pastor during Sunday morning services.
It's like a scene straight out of a horror movie. A clown with a knife chasing children around this mobile home park just days before Halloween.
A man is dead and a firefighter is in the hospital after a failed rescue attempt at Virginia Beach. Right now, Drew, we just know that at least 6 people have been shot. They're taken here to VCU Medical Center, 2 of them in critical condition. Terrifying moments for a family traveling on I-295 in eastern Henrico as shots are fired at their car. The clerk was standing right here when a man came through and started shooting. The clerk ran back this way and was shot a couple of times. You can see a bullet hole left behind. That's the scene of the state's second EF3 tornado with winds in excess of 130 miles per hour. Cyber attacks are always going on. This map from the security network Norse shows thousands happening in real time every minute across the globe.
Here you go, sir.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
It's like a never-ending line here at Hopewell High tonight. Each car gets 1 case of water to get them through the night. Rain or shine, there's not a single fair weather fan in this crowd. They all love Rayvon Owen, who is the next American Idol. And what you guys are going to have to be doing tomorrow is a lot of this, if you haven't already. But I haven't even gotten a chance to sled yet, so I'm just going to go down here, toss it into meteorologist Ross Runner. Ross, what's going on?
GRTC provides the vehicles and MV Transportation, a national company, provides the drivers. But both are responsible for customer satisfaction, and they admit they're understaffed and it's causing problems.
It's very frustrating when they keep you waiting.
Kathy Marks shows us her book of missed appointments and late pickup times in just the past few months.
Here's one. Here's one.
And so in these cases, you had to actually cancel these services because they never showed up.
Right.
A GRTC user for about 10 years, she says it's always been a problem.
I couldn't get there and I lost my job.
As a breast cancer survivor now with lipedema, Kathy relies on GRTC to make it to appointments. She sets up the pickup times and has her ticket ready, but there's days where she's left here waiting, sometimes never making it to those appointments.
And they said, well, we'll get you when we can.
Along with the lack of punctuality, Mark says she also faces mistreatment.
Well, it's kind of hard when you talk to someone on the dispatch and they're not very nice to you.
Marks has filed complaints every time and says she's left waiting for a remedy as well.
I've done everything in my power to try to reconcile this problem.
So it was time for us to step in. We brought the complaint directly to GRTC.
And it's still over an hour that she was waiting.
Correct.
The problem isn't a lack of transportation. As you can see, there's a lot filled with vans. The real issue is a shortage of drivers.
MV Transportation is required to provide 77 full-time operators and 36 part-time operators.
Even with that requirement, they come up short. GRTC's Carrie Rose Pace says they're almost there, currently with 76 full-time operators, but only 21 part-time. Part of the problem is GRTC's transition into a new contractor. They've only been with MV Transportation since December, and in that transition lost several drivers. On top of that, many new prospects didn't pass background checks. But Rose Pace says they should meet and surpass the required amount of drivers within a matter of days.
MV Transportation is working aggressively to both recruit, train, and hire.
She says NBC 12's own investigation has caused immediate action and change.
Since the last update with NBC 12, there has been an increase in the on-time performance.
Marks is hoping that improvement makes it her way soon.
They were so late, so I was like, well, cancel that one.
I also spoke directly to MV Transportation over the phone this afternoon, and they say that they're working every day to get more drivers on the road. In fact, they say 25 should be ready by next week. If you'd like to be a driver, call 782-2273. On your side in Richmond, Britni McDonald, NBC 12.
These men are still in the hospital tonight, but both of them should survive. One was shot in the bottom, the other in the lower section of his body. Now, police are still working to determine how this happened and why. But one woman I spoke to earlier today doesn't care. She's scared and wants to get out.
At first I thought it was firecrackers.
Carol Parham quickly learned the sound she heard Tuesday afternoon wasn't fireworks.
I could hear the gunshots. And like I said, all I saw was a lot of people just running. One I saw fall and hit the ground.
Police say 2 men had been shot on 21st at Keswick in broad daylight, just outside King's Supermarket, not far from where Param and her son were walking.
And I was scared.
This is where the shooting happened, right in the middle of 21st Street. You can see where fire crews had to wash away the aftermath of the shooting, but still with some blood left behind.
Obviously, we're concerned about this event. It's something that occurred in the middle of the day in broad daylight.
The neighborhood was wrapped in police tape as officers and forensics collected evidence, hoping to lead them to the suspects.
I'm tired of it.
It's incidents like this that has Param ready to get out.
So I looked over to my son and I said, Donnie, we got to move. We got to get from out of this area. It's not safe. It's not safe at all.
But Richmond Police Captain Roger Russell still has faith in the neighborhood.
This is a very good community. There's a lot of good folks that live around here.
He says a lot of the residents in the area have lived there for a long time, and he's hoping that longevity will help in the investigation.
We just want people, if they saw anything that looks unusual or anything that they just flat out know is wrong, to give us a call. They can do it anonymously and let us know what happened.
And that number that you can call is 780-1000. That's the Crime Stoppers number. On your side in Richmond, Britni McDonald, NBC 12.
Nick Candarelli has dealt with multiple sclerosis every day for the past 20 years.
Sometimes there isn't a magic bullet. It just is.
Diagnosed when he was just 29 years old, Candarelli had just been promoted at work and was expecting his first child. Now he's retired at 50, walks with a cane, and says he's in pain every day.
You know, it's things that you used to be able to do that you really can't do anymore.
It's an unpredictable, progressive, disabling disease without a cure that can deteriorate the body. Bon Secours neurologist John Hennessy, who's seen Candarelli for 2 decades,
he's a survivor,
and even has a wife with the same illness, calls it an immune attack.
The coating on the nerves, the insulation, has been stripped away by an immune-directed reaction.
Some of the biggest challenges up front, not even knowing you have it.
It may be passed off as it's your nerves, or it's an insect bite.
And not knowing where it comes from or how to avoid it.
We're not sure exactly what starts off this immune attack, but we do know that the ramifications are that there are different types of symptoms that occur.
Those symptoms range from numbness in the limbs and double vision to severe pain and difficulty walking, sometimes even an affected state of mind.
Anything within the central nervous system confines can be affected, potentially.
But it's not a fatal illness. It's very manageable with several treatment options and ongoing research.
I'm extremely hopeful.
Like many with MS, Candarelli relies on a weekly injectable medication, using the same one since his diagnosis.
And if I wasn't taking Avonex, I'd probably be in a wheelchair.
A less developed theory, dramatically changing your lifestyle. My mother, who was already a healthy eater before her recent diagnosis, completely changed her eating habits. Let me give you a look at exactly what I'm talking about. Every single day, she eats this large amount of fruits and vegetables, along with proteins like steak and fish, and totally avoids wheat, dairy, and sugar.
It's a theory not widely endorsed by the medical community.
I don't know of any magical MS diet except one that's responsible.
But combined with medication has shown to drastically reduce symptoms, like in Dr. Wall's case, who wrote a book about her journey through MS and how simply eating a nutrient-rich paleo-type diet took her from getting around in a wheelchair to riding a bike for miles at a time. Montel Williams, who suffered from the disease for years, swears by healthy eating and exercise to reduce pain and inflammation. But perhaps the best treatment is a good attitude and hope for the future.
I think the most successful people are the ones who don't forget they have the disease, obviously, but continue to live in spite of the disease.
A lot of people think that if you have a chronic illness, that you should just crawl into a hole and just have your life be over. And I don't believe that way. You don't let it define you as a person.
On your side, Britni McDonald, NBC 12.
The U.S. trip of Pope Francis wraps up tonight in Philadelphia. Over the past 6 days, he's gone out of his way to meet the people, and that's exactly what he did again today. While his smile and sense of humor have been on display, he also has some serious words for the faithful. Terrifying moments for a family traveling on I-295 in eastern Henrico as shots are fired at their car. The shooter driving up next to the car carrying a husband, wife, and child. Amazingly, no one was hurt, but at this hour, a gunman remains at large. A crime alert out of Richmond where a man is attacked with a hammer in the city's south side. That man was actually hit in the head Saturday at a motel off Jefferson Davis Highway. According to police, the victim and suspect did not know each other, and the victim admitted to officers that he'd been drinking. Tonight, he's recovering in the hospital. And turning now to Prince William County, where 3 officers were shot in the line of duty, one of them killed. We're learning more about the seconds leading up to the deadly shootout. Stephanie Robusto is live with a closer look at this tragedy now. And Stephanie, tell us about the 28-year-old officer. It was just her first day on the job. Civil rights activist and Reverend Al Sharpton makes a stop in Central Virginia, bringing with him a strong message to Gillfield Baptist Church in Petersburg. And we're learning breaking details on the Colorado Springs Planned Parenthood shooting. Investigators have identified all 3 victims killed inside the clinic. The Richmond skyline is about to get a festive facelift with the annual grand illumination happening this Friday night. The festivities begin at the James Center at 5 o'clock with a giant Christmas tree lighting at 6. If you can't make it out, there's plenty of time to enjoy the lights. They stay on through the beginning of January. Right now, we're taking a live look at the Powerball board, and that jackpot is now at $1.3 billion.
Yes! Watch out for Britni, and we're sorry that she's out there. She's still there. Oh,
she
Britni.
looks like she's trying to make a snow angel.
She's not doing it right. You're not going anywhere. Can she hear us? Britni, can you?
Good night, guys. We're out here South Richmond. Have a great night, everybody. I'll be here doing snow angels for the rest of the night. Be safe.
That's Britni McDonald, everybody.